My aunt and cousin ruined my birthday party and demanded I apologize. My birthday is usually a small family affair, nothing too fancy, just a nice dinner and some cake with close relatives. This year, I was turning 16, so my parents decided to let me invite a few friends over for a backyard barbecue. I was really excited. I hadn't seen most of my friends in person for months, and I was looking forward to a chill afternoon with music and games. My mom handled the food, my dad set up the grill, and I spent the morning decorating the backyard with balloons and streamers. Everything was going great until my Aunt Karen and her daughter showed up. Aunt Karen is the textbook definition of entitled. She always thinks the world revolves around her and her precious daughter, my cousin Emily. Emily is a year younger than me and has a reputation for being spoiled and demanding. I didn't even invite them, but my mom said it would be rude not to let family come, so I just braced myself and hoped for the best. They arrived an hour before the party was supposed to start. Aunt Karen immediately started criticizing the decorations, saying they looked cheap and childish. Emily rolled her eyes at everything and complained that there wasn't a chocolate fountain like at her last birthday. My mom tried to smooth things over, but I could already feel my mood sinking. I just wanted to enjoy my day, not deal with their negativity. As my friends began to arrive, things got worse. Emily kept interrupting our conversations, trying to make everything about her. She insisted on picking the music, then hogged the Bluetooth speaker, blasting songs no one else liked. When we started playing games, she threw a tantrum because she didn't win the first round. Aunt Karen scolded us for not letting the younger kids have a turn, even though Emily was the only one younger than the rest of us. Then came the food. My dad was grilling burgers and hot dogs, and everyone was lining up to make their plates. Aunt Karen pushed to the front of the line, piling food onto her plate and Emily's. She loudly complained that there weren't any vegetarian options, even though my mom had made a whole tray of veggie skewers. She then told my dad he should have grilled salmon because Emily only eats fish. My dad apologized, but Aunt Karen just huffed and muttered about how some people don't know how to host a proper party. As the party went on, Aunt Karen's behavior only got worse. She started hovering over the food table, criticizing how my mom had arranged everything, saying it looked messy and unappetizing. Emily, meanwhile, was demanding that someone take her on a tour of the house. Even though none of my friends wanted to, I tried to ignore them and focus on having fun, but it was hard when they kept interrupting and making rude comments. At one point, Emily grabbed the microphone from the karaoke machine and started singing loudly off-key, drowning out everyone else. When I politely asked her to let others have a turn, Aunt Karen snapped at me, telling me I was being a spoiled brat and should be grateful she came at all. Later, when it was time to cut the cake, I was looking forward to that moment, but Aunt Karen made it all about Emily. She insisted that Emily get the first slice and that I give her a big hug and thank her for making the party special. I was so shocked I didn't know what to say. My friends looked uncomfortable, and my parents tried to change the subject. But Aunt Karen kept pushing, saying I was being rude and ungrateful. After the party, I was really upset and told my parents how awful it had been. They agreed that Aunt Karen and Emily had been out of line, but said it was family and we had to be patient. A few days later, Aunt Karen called me and demanded I apologize to her and Emily for ruining their fun and being disrespectful. I refused and told her I wasn't sorry for standing up for myself. She threatened to cut me out of the family if I didn't comply, which hurt a lot. Now, I'm stuck feeling like I have to choose between standing up for myself and keeping peace with family. I don't want to let Aunt Karen win, but I also don't want to lose the rest of my family over this. It's been a tough lesson in dealing with entitled people, and I'm still trying to figure out how to handle it without losing my mind. The tension didn't end there. After Aunt Karen's call, family gatherings became awkward and strained. My parents tried to mediate, encouraging me to just let it go for the sake of harmony, but I couldn't forget how she had ruined my special day. At the next family event, Aunt Karen made a show of forgiving me, but continued to make passive-aggressive remarks. Emily kept giving me cold stares and refused to speak to me. I felt isolated and frustrated, like I was being punished for standing up for myself. I tried to focus on my friends and other family members who supported me, but it was hard when Aunt Karen and Emily's presence loomed over every occasion. I even caught Aunt Karen telling others that I was ungrateful and spoiled, which made me look like the bad guy. It hurt because I had always tried to be polite and respectful, but apparently that wasn't enough for them. I started to dread family events and wished I could just avoid them altogether. One day, I decided to write Aunt Karen a letter explaining how her behavior affected me, hoping to clear the air. I told her how much her actions had hurt me on my birthday and how I wanted to have a better relationship moving forward. I didn't expect a big change, but I hoped it might open a door. Instead, she responded with a short, cold message saying she didn't see anything wrong and that I was too sensitive. That response crushed me and made me realize that maybe she wasn't willing to change. Despite all this, I'm trying to stay positive and focus on the people who truly care about me. I've learned that sometimes family isn't just about blood, but about who respects and supports you. I'm still young and have a lot to learn about setting boundaries and standing up for myself, but this experience has made me stronger. I'm determined not to let entitled people like Aunt Karen control my happiness or define my relationships. Since Aunt Karen's cold response, I've been more cautious about how much I share with family. I stopped inviting her and Emily to my gatherings, which caused more drama but gave me peace during important moments. My parents were upset at first, worried about family divisions, but eventually, they understood that I needed to protect my mental health. I focused on building stronger connections with relatives who respected my boundaries and supported me without judgment. I also leaned on my close friends more, who reminded me that I deserved kindness and respect. At school and with my friends, I started gaining confidence, learning to speak up when someone crossed a line. Aunt Karen's behavior taught me the importance of standing firm. Even when it's uncomfortable, I realized that some people will never change, and that's okay. What matters is how I respond and take care of myself. I began setting clear limits, like not tolerating insults or manipulation, and it felt empowering to reclaim control over my life and happiness. Recently, Aunt Karen tried to reach out again, sending a passive-aggressive text about how families should stick together no matter what. I didn't reply, choosing instead to focus on the positive relationships I have. I know that I can't force her to respect me, but I can choose who I let into my life and how I let them treat me. This experience has been painful, but also a powerful lesson in self-worth, boundaries, and resilience. Looking back, I'm proud of how far I've come. Even though my birthday party was ruined and my family drama is ongoing, I'm learning to prioritize my well-being and surround myself with people who truly care. I hope that sharing my story encourages others dealing with entitled family members to stand up for themselves and know they're not alone. Life is too short to let toxic people steal your joy, and sometimes the hardest battles lead to the strongest growth. Since choosing not to respond to Aunt Karen's latest message, I've felt a weight lift off my shoulders. I'm focusing on my own happiness and the people who genuinely care about me. My relationship with my parents has improved because they see how important it is for me to have boundaries. I'm planning a small, intimate gathering for my next birthday with just my closest friends and supportive family members. It feels good to take back control and create a space where I can truly enjoy myself without fear of entitlement or drama. I still think about how different things could have been if Aunt Karen had respected my feelings and boundaries, but I've accepted that some people just aren't willing to change. Instead of dwelling on that, I'm channeling my energy into building a positive future. I'm learning that standing up for yourself isn't always easy, but it's necessary for your mental health and self-respect. I hope my story helps others recognize when it's time to set limits and prioritize their own well-being. At the end of the day, family isn't just about blood. It's about respect, kindness, and support. I'm grateful for the people who have stood by me through this, and I'm excited to move forward with confidence and peace. Life is messy and complicated, but we all deserve to be treated with dignity, and sometimes that means saying no to those who don't value us. Thank you for reading, and remember, your happiness matters most.